We begin in the bathtub, relaxing the stressful day away, when randomly we receive a letter from the front door. Dear Miss McDonald, I hope this letter finds you well. Your child is sick and needs your immediate attention. We would normally handle this matter, but the situation is urgent as we do not have telephone service. You will need to appear in person. In the peace of Christ, Mother Apollo. As we make our ascent up the mountain, we begin to notice random objects on our path, like an abandoned truck, a wheelchair, and a crucifix. And finally, the boarding school we came to pick our sick daughter from. But the building is completely devoid of life, completely abandoned. No lights, no main entrance, just a door on the side of the building we eventually find. And we go through. As we enter the building, darkness catches our surrounding. No sounds or signs of human life as we course up the stairs and through the building. As we begin our search throughout the first floor hallway, we go through the first door on our left, and we find a note that is completely unreadable. We'll come back to this later. As we begin to search for any clue on the whereabouts of our daughter throughout the other rooms on the first floor hallway, we find a lighter. We find a television with a VCR player on the top of it. And finally, a rock inside a toilet in one of the bathroom stalls. With nothing else in any of the other drawers inside the other rooms, or any other object in our line of sight, we begin our search onto the second floor hallway. But there's now a problem up the stairs. The floor is gone and replaced with barbed wire. With no other way to get to the second floor, or any object to help us get across, we decide to take a leap of faith. And hopefully, and that's NuN Massacre for you. Now obviously there is a way to get to the second floor, but I was just showing you guys one of the many endings this game has to offer, and what we're dealing with throughout this whole game. What I want to get to the bottom of in this video are the many questions in NuN Massacre. Who is this demonic looking nun out for blood? Why is this boarding school completely abandoned? What are these notes trying to tell us? And what exactly happened to Miss McDonald's daughter? Sit back and take a snack, and join me as we uncover the mystery in NuN Massacre. As we begin our journey onto the third floor hallway, we grab all the items we previously collected on our last playthrough, including our plank of wood inside the shower room to cross the barbed wire pit. Now before we go into the third floor, I'd just like to say that I'm not playing this game with full volume on. On the third floor hallway, she roams the halls, and when she spots you, she lets out this deafening scream that is absolutely unbearable.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
And I've tried to fix this by lowering her volume, but it's like this setting was more put in as a fucking prank by the devs, cause lowering it makes no difference to this bitch. Now, to completely get rid of this terrible jump scare, you have to toggle off her jump scare option, which thankfully suppresses her, or in Fortnite terms, completely nerfing the NuN.
Oh my fucking god, I am an absolute madman. Somebody call my mom. Tell her she gave birth to a demon. A revolver demon.
Do not get this shit confused though. The NuN is still completely able to catch you off guard. As we begin our journey on the 3rd floor, we catch our first glimpse of a child running across the hallway.
Oh my god.
I can't really say what's going on here, just that they randomly pop out of nowhere to run across your line of vision, to just then literally evaporate. On the 3rd floor hallway, 1st room, you can find another rock inside one of the cabinets, just in case you forgot the first one. If we were to walk out into the hallway, we can see a boarded up door to our left. Nothing we can do about that. And to our right, a door with a glass window that's locked. But with the rock we collected, we can... Obviously, since we created a lot of noise, we can either decide to hide like a little bitch, or just continue on until the NuN comes to investigate and eventually catches you. In the room, we can find a TV with a VCR player on top of it, a dresser with a paperclip, a note, and finally, the radar, the best item in the game, with a description reading, "It says, property of the US government. I should be able to track somebody if they're walking." Now, the radar is completely overpowered, being able to track the NuN's movements whenever she's around. But do not overestimate this item, because it can completely fuck you over, with the radar being able to track her movements, not when she's idle. I cannot tell you how many times she's completely catch me off guard, with her waiting in corners or hiding in rooms to get the jump on me. In the 4th room down the hall, we can find a map that is completely useless. Like, it is completely like, just what the fuck? What is this shit? And further down the hall, we can find a room that's locked. But luckily for us, in the room where we found the radar, there is an open vent we can crawl through, with 2 branching paths. If we were to go left, we find ourselves in the shower room that leads to a bathroom with stalls. If we were to look in the toilets, we find a mannequin organ, which we have no use for right now. As we unlock the bathroom door, we can proceed further down into the hall, where we find stairs that go up and down. If we were to go up to the 4th floor, the path is blocked by a gate, and we see a vent, but it's covered. If we were to go down, we'd end up in the 2nd floor, again, where we first started. Now, I wasn't lying in the beginning when I said there was no other way up to the 3rd floor without crossing the barbed wire pit. If we were to start the game over again and try to go down the hall, we're stopped by a wall with a window on it that looks completely distorted. It's like the building is shifting or changing when we progress. What exactly is happening here? Dear Diary, Mommy dropped me off at my new school. I'm going to miss my old friends. I brought Brongo with me though. We have a teacher named Sister Euphemia. She has an assistant named Sister Odelia. They're teaching us all about saints and what wonderful lives they've lived. Today, we've learned about Saint Lucy. Her eyes were put on a plate and she became a martyr. That's a weird word, Sister. Euphemia said that her love for God saved her from the evil Romans that tried to hurt her. Sister Rose said that Mother Apollonia is going to take care of us. Dear Diary, Mother Apollonia said that I'm too old to play with dolls, and and wanted me to give up Bongo the Clown. I told her I threw him away, but I hid him somewhere good so he could watch over me. I can't tell where for his safety. I trusted him with something important. As we proceed to take the other path down the vent, we're again hit with two branching paths, the third obviously covered by a vent cover that we need to unscrew. And if we look through the vent cover, we can see words inscribed on the floor. As we go forward, we're blocked by an exhaust fan that's turned on, so we proceed to take the other pathway. And eventually, again, we're hit with two pathways to proceed. If we were to go right, we find ourselves in a bedroom with a bed, a lamp, a cabinet that's empty, and a sharp stake with a mannequin hand impaled onto it, and a door that's locked. Also a note behind the cabinet. Sorry I didn't write in forever. Mother Apollonia found my diary and locked me in punishment. I didn't think I would ever get out. I found a new paper to write on. I want to go home. She doesn't treat the other kids this way. As we go back into the vent and proceed onto the other path, we end up in another segment of the building, the West Wing. On the third floor, the first room being the bathroom, we can see an item that is stuck in the drain that we can't get yet. But we can learn more about what's in the drain with the note in the shower room. I got in trouble again today. I figured out how to open certain locked doors with a tool that I found and a paperclip. If you use the tool that looks like an L and turn the paperclip to the right direction, the lock will open. But Mother Apollonia caught me, and I got in big trouble. She threw the L down the sink and slapped. The rest is cut off. As we explore the other rooms, 3J being completely empty, 3I having another note. Dear Diary, Mother Apollonia hates me. She pulled me out of class today, but I didn't do anything. I got the ruler 5 times. I hate it here. I can't make friends. Nobody else wants to talk to me. I really don't believe in God. If there was a real God, there wouldn't be so many bad people in the world. I miss Mommy and my old friends. I want to go home to a normal school. As we walk out, we can see that 3A is locked. With us needing the L-shaped tool to unlock it, 3H is completely empty. With the door at the end of the hall, called the exit, being locked, obviously. As we make our way to the stairs, we can go down to the second floor, but the path is blocked by a gate. As we hit the 4th floor, we see that this floor is called medical, with wheelchairs, stretchers all around, and this metal bed in the shower room, and a room that's locked. Most of this floor is empty, with just a note in a rose wallpapered room. Dear Diary, I need to pee really bad in class, but Mother Apollonia wouldn't listen. I couldn't hold it in, so I tried to pee a little at my desk, but she found out. Everybody laughed at me. I had to clean it up and walk around in my underwear the rest of the day. The other kids call me pee pants now. I'm never going to have friends. I'm trying to pray more, if Jesus is watching me, but I feel so alone. I don't know what to write, so that's the end for now. It seems as though Mother Apollonia is going out of her way to abuse, humiliate, isolate this little girl writing in these diary entries, who we assume is Miss McDonald's daughter. But the real question is, why is Mother Apollonia doing this? As we go up the stairs, we find that the path is blocked, but in the room besides the gate, there is an electrical box with an exposed wire. Now this part, I was just like lost. I was just so confused on where I needed to go that I just went to every room to try to see if I was missing something. And that's when I went into room 3J on the 3rd floor and found a vent on top of the dresser that leads to the medical room 4J, with it being the surgery room because of the light being called surgery light. And here we find the wire clippers, finally being able to cut the exposed wire on the electrical box and stopping the exhaust fan. And now we can finally go through it. As we drop down, we see sharp stakes with mannequin body parts impaled onto them. We're in the kitchen, with stoves, ovens, fridges, sinks, and a scale with a wall behind it with words written onto it saying, 7 offerings of flesh to Christ. As we grab all the body parts from the stakes, we place them on the scale. With each other body part that's placed, the scale begins to weigh down. But with only 4 parts, we're left to find the last 3, which obviously, we already know where the other 2 are, with 1 more missing. The other things we can find in the room are rubbing alcohol and a weird part of the wall, but with nothing else we can do, we can continue on to the other room. As we go into the lounge, we're met with sofas, TVs, shelves, cabinets, and wheelchairs. It seems like a comforting spot, but don't get too comfortable, because the nun roams around this area as well. In here, we can find a note, a TV that shows an I and then switches to 3 letters, CFV, and finally the bloody hammer with the description reading, a bloody hammer. Was this used for murder? On the sides of the room we can find doors that we can unlock. The first door that we unlock leads to ground floor east wing with stairs that lead up to the second floor. The other door leads to stairs that go up to the second floor of west wing. And finally 2 doors that lead us outside, where we can find the headless white statue. It's kind of crazy how we're finally outside, but we're still trapped in this hell, with still no idea where the main character's daughter is. It feels like we've made progress, but we haven't, and there's still so much to do. And with that, let me read the final note of this chapter. I was locked in punishment again. I screamed to let me go to the bathroom. I couldn't hold it in, so I pooed on the floor. Mother Apollonia found out, and I had to pick it up and rub it all over me. She showed the other kids, and everybody laughed. I can't stop crying. I want to climb over the window, but it's too high. I can hear her coming. She's looking for me. She's saying, "Where are you, Janie?" With the hammer we've recently collected, we can now take off the nails off the boarded up door. When we enter the room, there's just a single bathtub in the middle of the room, but in the bathtub, we can find a drain cleaner. We can finally clear the sink on the 3rd floor bathroom of West Wing. As the item gets dislodged from the drain, the item can be found on the 2nd floor of West Wing restroom, where we find the hex key, the L-shaped tool that was mentioned in the lock note. Now we can finally use the bobby pins that we've been finding all across the school. But before we do that, let's explore the 2nd floor of West Wing. With room 2J being empty, 2A being also empty, we finally find something valuable to us in room 2-1. The room looks like an office with the desk having a screwdriver in the drawer. We can now finally open the 2 closed off vents that we saw earlier. And finally, in room 2H, we find our first ever VHS tape.
Give me my VHS tape.
As we finally insert our first VHS tape in a VCR player, we get this. And that's pretty much it for the second floor of West Wing, with just the exit door at the end of the hall. As we go to the third floor West Wing to unlock 3-8 with the hex key we obtained, we finally find ourselves in an empty room with just a clock tower that we can drag around. And if we look behind it, we can see these little mini clock doors that reveal the inside. But there's a missing gear that we have to replace. And that's pretty much it, I guess. Now it's on to the vents. As we unscrew the first vent, we finally see the inscribed words on the vent floor. Pride goeth before destruction, and a hot sprite before a fall. As I searched for the meaning of this proverb, I got the same answer on every site. Arrogance puts a person at risk for disaster. As we see our first branching path, we go right, and again, another branching path that goes forward and right. If we were to go right, we get the second ending, where we fall into the pit and the nun throws up on us.
Check this out. Now, I know she look old, but she a freak, and she got skills.
As we go forward, we end up in a huge empty room that only has a TV where we can insert VHS tapes, and a wooden cross on the wall above the TV. Literally nothing else we can do except go back and continue on forward, where we find another branching path. As we proceed onto the right path, we find more paths left and right. As we go right, we find a small room that looks like a hiding spot with a note on the floor. Mother Apollonia told me that I'm not praying enough. This is the prayer that I'm supposed to try. The Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? The Lord is my strength of my life. Of whom shall I be afraid? Hide not thy face far from me. Put not thy servant away in anger. Thou hast been my help. Leave me not, neither forsake me, O God of my salvation. For he gives me the power to always see. As we go to the other path, we find ourselves in a dark room with an upward ramp that drops us into a pit. And in front of us, we see a wall that's too high to climb up. At first, I thought I was stuck here and I had to restart the game. But thankfully, apparently you just have to hop your way back to where you dropped from. As we go back to the main vent that keeps us going forward and keeps us going and 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 going, we finally see something, and it's the second tape. Let's put that good stuff right in there.
This nigga think I want a hug. No, I want your life. Thought this shit was a game, nigga.
Ah shit, wrong tape. Now this part I would have loved to have said, oh, there's a ghost behind me, isn't there? But sadly, she never appears during this section of the game. If we were to continue going down the vent, we're hit with our third ending, where the vents begin to like morph until like you just get stuck, and then this weird white noise begins to rape the shit out of your ears, and then we see a light coming towards us. It's the child we've seen throughout the game.